Several of you have asked about Irene and Albert's garden and how's it been. It's been a month since I did an update, so we're going to give you an update on their garden. To look at the previous videos, please check the links below this video as far as how we built it and what we planted in it and how it looked a month ago. Here are their beans. You can see the beans are spent. They're not a hardy plant, and so they're not going to take the cold weather. We've had below freezing temperatures. Right now it's about 70 or so today, but those are gone and those will be coming out. Here he has some beautiful sugar snap peas here with already peas on the vines, which is awesome. I need to go home and get mine planted. This is what I love about going and visiting other Mittleider gardeners' gardens, is because I see what they've done and I go, oh, I need to do that. So he's got some peas here. He'll take out these beans and probably add some more peas or some other plants down there. And then he's discovered he's had a problem, and that is he's got a problem with rodents. You can see in here these rodents have come in and just completely decimated many of his plants. They've come in and completely eaten the leaves off right down to the stalks. This is a Brussels sprout plant. You can see the Brussels sprouts here. The plant is actually doing really well, and some rodent damage is okay. The plant will recover from that. It just spurs it on to grow more leaves, but not a fun thing to experience. As you can see, the leaves here are torn up and the plants are eaten. Here he has some of these really nice cauliflower, but again, the rodents are into these too. So we're going to bring over some rat traps, and he's going to put out some cheese or peanut butter or something and see what he can do to get rid of these rodents, because they're just really eating up his plants, which is going to destroy his harvest. He won't get a harvest if they keep eating up the plants. But over here, his cabbage is doing really well. Nice, firm, tight heads on these cabbages. And even the one growing underneath that's kind of camouflaged from the cauliflower plant next to it is still growing well. You can see he's got to do a little bit of cleanup in here. He's got some leaves down here on the bottom that just need to be snapped off. They're not really producing much, and is taken out of the garden. He's got a beautiful rolls of carrots here. His parsnips are coming up well. This is the remaining lettuce. This is still a very viable plant. You can come through and pick the leaves and let the plant continue growing and pick it as you want. The extra sand that we had left over that we laid down on the ground has worked out well. It's nice, compact. It's helping to keep the weeds out. Don't recommend putting anything down on the ground other than maybe sand, and we just did that because it was left over. But you can see he's almost virtually weed free here, which means he's on top of it, keeping it nice and clean and keeping that safe barrier to keep the weeds from overtaking his garden. That really reduces the headache. One of the biggest problems people talk about in having a garden is dealing with weeds, but as you can see, it's not an issue with the Mittleider garden when it's maintained. You can see that we've got the mini A-frames here. I brought those over about a month or so ago, and he's got those just screwed onto the sides. I failed to bring over some PVC that he could slip those into, so he very wisely just screwed those right onto the side, and when it gets cold he slips some plastic over the top of these and protects them from the cold weather. But he has noticed that protecting them when it especially gets down into the 30s makes a big difference in the plants, but he takes it off when the sun is out and it's warm, because the plants really love the fresh air and the direct sunlight. There you have it, the Irene and Albert Mittleider garden update. I hope your gardens are growing well. I hope if you're growing a Mittleider garden also that you'll also post videos on your channels, and please comment below that you've got a video with your Mittleider garden on it so others can see how things are going with your gardens. Also, to see how other Mittleider gardeners are going, you can go over to our Facebook page, and I'll have links below for that. This is LDS Prepper reminding you, if you are prepared, you shall not fear. I encourage you to grow a garden now when you can enjoy the production of the garden, but don't have to depend on it to live. This way you'll find situations that you need to deal with now that you can learn how to take care of your garden.